Hello friends, we are going to discuss in this video about the various dimensions of logistics with respect to macro as well as micro. The various aspects inside the macro and micro dimensions of logistics will be discussed in detail in the further slides. Come on, let's go to the concepts inside this and discuss. Logistics is the 21st century touches every aspect of company's daily operations, and it has grown into business especially of its own. Before that, it was a subsidiary function, otherwise called the substituting function for sending the material, otherwise the ancillary function. Now it becomes an entire business of its own. So strategic planning and resource management is a part of logistics management. But logistics also about how companies go about their day and its impacts. As a business, especially with a specialty, the explosion of globalism has promulgated the practice of logistics. In the days of mostly domestic companies, shipping departments in most companies were run by an experienced shipping clerk. Since there were only few people who could adequately understand the system or the entire process, how to get things done, it was now a difficult task. But firms want their packages to be shipped and delivered on time to its customers. Logistics is essential for the company's competitive strategy and survival. The buyer is not interested in the premises or the promises of the seller that he can supply goods at competitive price. If the supplier fails to meet the terms with the predetermined supply of period, the seller may not only get his sale amount back, but may also be legally penalized. If the sales contracts specify, then the penalty will also be more. The better delivery schedule is a good promotional strategy when buyers are unwilling to invest in warehousing and keeping higher level of inventories. Similarly, better and timely delivery helps in getting repeat orders through the goodwill created. Effective logistics systems contributes immensely to the achievements of the business and marketing objectives of the firm. It creates time and place utilities in the products and thereby helps in maximizing the value satisfaction to customers. By ensuring quick deliveries in minimum time and with minimum cost, it relieves the customers of holding excess inventories. It also brings down the cost of carrying inventory, material handling, transportation, and other related activities of distribution. In the nutshell, an efficient system of physical distribution, logistics has a great potential for improving customer service and reduce the cost. So the cost cuttings is the major potential drive of the logistics systems. Then coming back to the next macro and micro dimensions. See, the total dimensions are characterized or categorized into macro dimension as well as micro dimensions. Macro dimension. So the macro dimension of logistics are characterized or categorized as value added role which is having economic impacts. Value added role of logistics. The value added role of logistics includes the form, place, time, and possession utilities. So form utility, what is form utility? The logistics provides farm utility through manufacturing or assembly operations. Logistics provides farm utility through its impacts on shipment size and packaging. Coming back to the place utility, where you're going to create your logistics. Logistics provides place utility by moving goods from production surplus points to points where demand exists, and it reduces the logistics cost and expands the market area of the firm. Then about the time utility. When the goods will be delivered, logistics creates time utility by having goods and services available when demanded. Logistics also create time utility by inventory management, transportation management, and strategic location of goods and services. The last is about why it is the possession utility. Created through the basic marketing activities related to the products and services promotion, the possession utility is established. And these economic utilities are also referred to as the 7 R's, namely a right product, right quantity, right condition, right place, right time, right customer, and right cost. So this is the basic economic utilities. That means that a right product should be sent with the right quantity, what the customer is asking, in a right condition, to the right place of the consumer or the retailer or the wholesaler who is going to get it, and in the right time, not delayed, in the exact time when they want it for production, and to the right customer. So many suppliers might have been, or customers might have been ordered. You should not misplace the order. You have to send it to the right customer, the right products which they wanted, at the right cost. Than your competitor, your cost also should be taken care of. So these are all the economic utilities. Call it as the R's. Economic impacts of logistics. The economic impacts of logistics include the economic development and the specialization, variety of goods, prices, and land values. So economic development and specialization talks about the economic development. Investment in transport is an essential part. The extent of market can be determined by logistics. Variety of goods, when you are talking about this concept, logistics capabilities enable the ability to provide a wide variety of goods to various customers, those who are geographically spread all around the globe. Then about the prices. Logistics represents about 10% of gross domestic product. It also represents a much larger percentage of the value of many products and services. Land values. If there is access to transportation service, it affects the economic potentiality of the land, and the land value is also increasing, and ultimately the real estate business is also booming. And macroeconomic dimension, when you look into that, the land values, if there is access to transportation service, a small information, it affects the economic potential of the land. So you can see that in 1980s, how the land values were 15.7, and it was gradually raised. So you can understand that in 1990 it was 11.4. As indicated in the above figure, logistics cost as a percentage of gross domestic product (GDP), and we have declined from 16% in 1980 to under 10% in 1999, and in the early 70s also we can see the closer of 20%. So that is what the reflection of this particular diagram. This reflects the serious improvement in the efficiency of the logistics. And these are all the logistics costs as a percentage of various elements in India. the transportation it carries more than 40%, and warehousing and packing and the other losses is 26, and the inventory is 24, and order processing and administrative is 10%. So these are all the four variables or the elements of logistic cost in India. So the major logistics cost are by transportation, that is 40%, and the warehousing and packages is 26%, and inventory and its turnover and the maintenance is 24%, and order processing and administrative is 10% only. So you can compare this. This is the GDP percentage, and this is about the elements, how much the cost in India is segregated towards the logistics in what all the areas. Macro dimensions of logistics are characterized or categorized as interfaces with operations or manufacturing and interfaces with marketing. So two dimensions here, one is with the manufacturing, another one is with the marketing. So logistic interfaces with operations, that is manufacturing, will talk about the length of production run, seasonal demand, and also the supply side interface, and protective packaging also. Length of production run is nothing but the firms sought production economies by producing large volumes each time they had a production line set up or changeover. However, this led to very large inventory levels move to pull systems rather than push systems. We discussed about pull and push strategies in the earlier videos. You can just clarify with that. On markets, the consumers usually pulls the goods or information they demand for their needs, while the offers or the suppliers pushes them towards the consumers. The push strategy is marketing. In marketing can be found in communication, either interactive or non-interactive, between the seller and the buyer. For example, if the seller makes his promotion by television media or in the radio, audio channels, it is not possible for the buyer to interact with him or with them. On the other hand, if the communication is made by telephones or through internet browsings, chats, chatbots, the buyer has the possibility to interact with his sellers. Then the micro dimensions. See the push and the pull dimension, you can see here. These are all the various supply chain push-pull systems available. So the raw material will be push strategy and the customers will be in the pull strategies. So it will have low uncertainty and long lead times, cost minimization and resource allocation. Here the uncertainty, high uncertainty and short cycle times, service levels and responsiveness. And coming back to the micro dimensions. In the first case, information is just pushed towards the buyer, while in the second case, it is possible for the buyer to demand the needed information according to his requirements. And in a the pull system, the consumer requests the product and pulls it through the delivery channel. For example, a mobile manufacturing company assembles parts to produce mobile phone. And this process before production of the phone is a push process, but the process after production is the pull process. As the manufacturer is predicting that the product will be accepted as the customer orders for mobile phone, it will become the pull process. And the micro dimension, the next dimension is the seasonal demand. So build-up of seasonal inventories to meet demand and to smooth production, we should focus on the logistics. And supply side interface. So material management, supplier relations is critical to efficient production and logistics. So logisticians involved in production scheduling also. they will be giving them the information when they can send the raw material, what is the time, exact date and the time. With the consultation of those logisticians only, the companies can accept any huge orders or unexpected orders. And protective packings or packaging. Most firms consider this as one of the logistics activity. Packing of the materials without any damage, considering the weather conditions, the distance, and the movement of goods, the nature of goods and other items. Logistics interfaces with the marketing. Logistic interfaces with marketing includes the price, product, promotion, place and customer services. When you are looking into the price aspect, the product pricing schedule is often tied to transportation pricing schedule. That is, price discounts occur for product given in volumes or transportation price discounts are present. So the logistics cost must be included in the product price. We already saw that 40% of the cost is incurred from the transportation of the products. So the price determines based on the transportation cost and the product, the size, the shape, the weight or the density, packaging and other physical characteristics affect the logistics. For example, any product size and weight affect transportation and storage. See, the packings which they are providing it should be fit into the racks of the or the shelves of the retailers. To that extent, the packing should be done. And industrial packaging is done because of product protection and security. And the promotion point, the promotion campaigns need to be coordinated with the logistics staff. And the place the logistics interfaces with marketing also refers to the distribution channels and their decisions. To sell through wholesalers, or you're going to do a direct marketing, or you're going to do with the direct selling to the retailers. Customer service is the output of any logistics or any function of supply chain or logistics. It depends upon the following factors, especially the time dependency, communications, convenience, etc. And the logistics activities should be listed in the micro and macro attributes. Number one is the transportation. This is the physical movement or the flow of goods and mode of transportation, service look and then selection, and carrier routing, vehicle scheduling, equipment selections to loading and unloadings, and claims processing. So these includes in the transportation of physical movement of goods. And when you are going to the storage, it includes inventory management and warehouse space determination, and which will give you the stock layout and dock design, warehouse configurations, stock placement and shelf arrangements, etc. Packaging is affected by product and transportation, and design for handling, storage, and then protection from loss or the damage is also an important point to be keep in mind while you are doing your packaging. Materials handling in movement from or within a warehouse should be taken care of, and then equipment selection is important. Equipment replacement policies or order picking policies, stock storage and retrieval, or the activities of logistics. Order fulfillment, when you are going for the order fulfillment, completing the customer orders which affects the lead time, and forecasting, predicting inventory necessary to fulfill customer demand. Production planning is also important. Product necessary to cover the market should be identified to fulfill the order. And then information maintenance, especially information collection, storage of information, and manipulation of data and data analysis, and with stipulated control procedures should be. followed to do a better logistics activity. Then the order fulfillment, completing customer orders which affects the lead time, and forecasting, predicting the inventory necessary to fulfill customer demand, and production planning includes product necessary to cover the market. Information maintenance also should be taken care of with the information collection, storage and manipulation of data analysis and control procedures. Then business as a logistics. So logistics nowadays become a standalone business. For example, every month Toyota Distribution moves more than 8 million parts and accessories. So it is a 30-year-old distribution network, and this resulted in 2 distribution centers, one in California, another one is in Ketchikan, feeding 9 smaller distribution centers located around the country. Thus, a new network both improved customer service and it also lowered the cost. So you can see the business as logistics as a major business. There will be a physical supply, material management, and there will be a physical distribution. So the source, and they have to sourcing the supply. After that, they have to arrange for transportation, inventory maintenance, order processing, and acquisition, and protective packaging, warehousing, material handling, and information maintenance. All these things should be taken care of in the first level, and which will be transported to the plant or to the operations, which will be ready in the plant. And after manufacturing, the physical distribution will be happen to the customers. Again, the same order processing, product scheduling. Instead of acquisition, you can see that order processing based on the customer requirement, product scheduling, and protective packaging to reach out the customer, warehousing of materials, finished goods, and handling of the finished materials with safe and information maintenance are needed in this particular stage. So they are using the logistics as a separate business. And various approaches to analyze the logistics systems. Any system is a set of interacting elements, variables, parts, or objects that are functionally related to one another, and that form a coherent group. Logistics can be classified into material management, that is inbound logistics, and physical distribution, that's called outbound logistics. So inbound logistics involves the processes from the purchase of raw material till it reaches the manufacturing unit. The departments which are involved in inbound logistics are purchasing department, warehouse department, and manufacturing unit. The outbound logistics delivers the finished goods or the products to the customers as per their requirement. And this is their responsibility to determine the shortest route through which transportation cost is the minimum. Usually, the movement and the storage of raw materials in a company is very different from the movement and storage of finished goods. For example, a steel company may move required raw materials of iron ore and coal by large rail carload. Storage may require land where these items can be dumped and built for future uses. And inbound and outbound logistics. You can see that the supply chain is here. Here inbound logistics, and the material will be used supplied by the supply chain intermediaries to the manufacturing unit. And after that, they again depend upon the supply chain to redistribute to the outbound logistics. So on the other hand, the finished steel will very often be moved by motor carrier, and the storage will require on enclosed facility for production against the elements, and perhaps elaborate materials handling equipments. The movement and the storage of raw materials is extremely different from the movement and the storage of finished goods. So this clarification is very useful to you in this logistics management. So you can see that this is inbound logistics, this is outbound logistics. outbound logistics, from the inbound and outbound requirements perspectives, there are 4 different classifications of logistics systems. That's one is the balance system. Companies receive supplies from various vendors in different locations and ship to various customers in different locations. Example, the consumer products. And then heavy inbound. The process requires no warehousing, special transportation will be arranged, or a special packing is needed for such type of process, inbound, heavy inbounds. In contrast, the inbound side requires detailed scheduling, coordination and planning to ensure that the parts arrive in time so that the production will not be stopped. And the aircraft companies use thousands of parts manufactured by the hundreds of vendors to assemble and produce a finished aeroplane. Likewise, the automobile industry. Once the aeroplane is finished and tested, the company simply flies it to the customer through the locations. And so aircraft and the constructions, automobile industries are very good examples of this. Then heavy outbound. A very wide variety of industrial and consumer products are produced that need storage, packaging, and transportation to the final customer. Therefore, in a company with a heavy outbound, the physical distribution side of logistics system is more complex. Example is the chemicals which they are using it, companies like Dow. And the reverse systems. Some companies have reverse flows on the outbound side of their logistics systems that we will study in the next videos. In the companies producing durable products that the customer may return for trade and for repairs or for the disposal. So companies that produce computers, telephones, electronic gadgets and the copy machines like Xerox machines, printers have these type of characteristics. So increased concern with the environment will require more companies to develop reverse logistics systems to dispose of packaging materials on used products. Example is returnable products. Then the trade-offs. To make it easier to study the cost trade-offs between the centers, logistics activities are treated as cost centers. You can see that transportation, inventory, packaging, warehousing, and the cost of sales. So this is through railways, $3, $5, and $4.5, and $1.5, and $2. So total cost is $15. If you are transporting in the motor, it is 4.2 and 3.75, 3.20, and 0.75 the warehousing. And also the cost of lost sales is 1. So totally it is 30. So the analysis of total logistics cost with a change to higher cost mode of transportation, you can witness it here. So this will give a better trade-off. Likewise, the cost centers. You have 3 warehouses and 5 warehouses systems. In the system 1, you can see the transportation is the $8,50,000, whereas this is only $5 lakh. In the inventory, it is the total cost. You can see that 15 lakhs dollars, and you can also see here 20 lakhs, and here the 6 lakhs warehousing cost, and here the 10 lakhs, and you can see the cost of sales is 3,50,000, and here it is 1 lakh only. So the total cost here is 33 lakhs dollars, and here it is only 36 lakhs. You can see this is 3 warehouses, this is 5 warehouses. So the analysis of total logistics cost with a change to more warehouses can be studied here. And this is the nodes that links the logistics system. So W is the warehousing. You can see that P is the plant and M is the market. From the market, this is the P, the plant. From there, you can see that the weight is coming to warehouse. And the warehouse, it will be going to the market 1 and the market 2 areas. Likewise, from the production unit, it will go to different warehouses. You can see here, and this is the place of the plant. plant 1, plant 2 and then plant 3 and 4 is here. So it will reach different dimensions and different diagonals nodes that link easily. This linking system will reduce once again the cost in the logistics. And the logistics channels you can identify. The network of intermediaries involved in the logistics system. See, on the whole, this simple logistics channel will give you the overall picture of this entire video. You can see the raw materials here, and there will be a supplier, and it will be sent to the manufacturing unit, and it will be distributed, and the customer will be getting it and consuming it. So this is starting from here to here. You can understand the network of intermediaries involved in the logistics systems. Logistics system analysis. Optimization in supply chain is the application of processes and tools to ensure the optimal operation of a manufacturing and distribution supply chain. This includes the optimal placement of inventory within the supply chain, minimizing operating cost, including the manufacturing cost, transportation cost, and distribution cost. The logistics and the system analysis is done in terms of cost and opportunity. And logistic cost perspective, most cost efficient systems are not always comprised of each system component operating at its lowest possible cost. The critical concern is to have the entire system operating at its lowest total cost and level of optimality. A logistics system must work with the harmony with the market hours. So the two techniques of total cost analysis, short-run static analysis, the cost associated with the various the interrelated logistics activities such as transportation, warehousing, inventory, as well as material handling and industrial packagings are calculated. This cost information for each system is developed, and the one with the lowest overall cost within the constraints of the company's logistics area is found out. This method is also referred to as the static analysis, since it analyzes cost associated with the logistics system's various components at one point in one time and at one particular output level. So this can be illustrated with the help of an example. So ABC is the firm which uses first method, in which all rail routes from the manufacturing plant and the associated plant warehouse to the customers. At the point warehouse, the chemicals are bagged and then shipped by rail to the customer. In another method, ABC uses the market-oriented warehouse, in which the goods would be shipped from the plant to the market warehouse and then packed and sent to the customer. Thus, instead of shipping all goods by rail, the company would ship them by barge to the warehouse, taking advantage of low bulk rates. After bagging, the chemicals would move by rail from the warehouse for shipping to the customer. Thus, the technique chooses the short-run situation and selects the system with the lowest overall cost. Static analysis of C and B chemical outputs. You can see that the company with 50,000 pounds of output. So this is the system 1. The cost is with packaging $500, $150 of storage and handling, inventory carrying $50, administrative $75, and then fixed cost, the total is $4,200. And here the system 2 talks about no packaging, only storing and handling with 50, and then inventory carrying is $25, and the administrative is also $25, and then fixed cost is $2,400. Whereas the transportation cost is to market warehouse is 0 in system 1, but it is 150 in system 2. So to customers it is 800 and it is 100 only. Warehouse cost, the total packaging is 0, and storage handling, inventory carrying, because it is directly reaching it. So in the other case, it is 500, 150, 75, 75 and 2,400. Totally, this will come to system 1 will be getting $5,775, whereas the system 2 will get 5,950. So the static analysis of C and B chemical company with 5,000 pounds output, you can very well understand the static analysis. So long run dynamics. This is a mathematical method to calculate the point of equality between two systems. For example, suppose there are two systems, system 1 and 2, and equal at about 70,500 pounds of output. If the graph is used to determine the equality point, the accuracy is difficult. So the equation of the straight line method we are following here, y is equal to a plus bx, is considered in mathematical solution where a is equal to fixed cost, b is equal to the output level. Since the two systems are equal at same point, the two equations are set up as equal and the cost information is used to solve these equations. So known is the fact that approximately 70,500 the two systems are equal, and the point of indifference is seen between the two systems. So system 1, the total cost is equal to fixed plus variable divided by units into number of units. Then the system 2 also we are doing the equation, and you can find the trade-off here as this is the equation 70,588 pounds. So factors affecting the cost and importance of logistics. The factors affecting the cost and the importance of logistics are competition via customer service is an important factors affecting, and the shorter the order cycle, lesser the inventory is required. So you can see the order cycles here. So this is the relationship between the inventory and the order cycle length. And the more substitutable product, the higher customer service level is required. Increase in inventory reduces the cost of sales. So you can see that this is the total cost, and this is what your inventory cost, and you can also see the cost of last sales here. So this is giving you the relationship of cost and lost sales in inventory cost. So the x-axis and the y-axis, you can see the flow here, and this is what their logistics cost. And the increased transportation cost reduces the cost of lost sales. So the final product also affects the logistics. As the dollar value goes up or the rupee value goes up, the cost of warehousing or the transportation and inventory also increases. So this will tell you how it is increasing it. The flow of this is inventory cost, which is including the storage, which is going up along with the value of the product, and this is transportation cost. Ultimately it will go up according to the product cost, and also the packaging cost. So you can see the relationship of the product values to various logistics cost. So the higher the density, there is more efficient use of warehouse and transportation space. If the risk of damage is greater, then the transportation and warehousing cost is higher, and special handling requirements for special products and spatial relationships and distance are the other factors which is affecting the cost and the importance of logistics. On the whole, I would like to conclude the summary of what all the things we discussed in this video. Number one is the effective logistics system. What is meant by effective logistics system? The system contributes immensely to the achievements of the business and marketing objectives of the firm. An efficient system of physical distribution, logistics has a great potential for improving customer service and reducing cost. The macro dimension of logistics are categorized as value-added role and economic impacts. On market, the consumers usually pulls the goods or information at the demand for their needs, and while the offers or suppliers pushes them towards the consumers. The logistics interfaces with marketing include the price, product, promotion, place, and customer service. Static analysis method analyzes cost associated with logistics systems, various components at one point of time or at one output level. And some companies have reverse flows of logistics. On the outbound side of these logistics systems, the electronic goods or the durable goods especially. And companies that produce computers, telephone equipments, and copy machines, Xerox machines have these characteristics, which is increased concern with the environment will require more companies to develop reverse logistics systems to dispose of packaging materials, unused products, etc., returnable products also. And optimization in supply chain is the application of process and tools to ensure the optimal operation of the manufacturing and distribution supply chain. This includes the optimal placement of inventory with the supply chain, minimizing the operating cost, including the manufacturing cost, transportation cost, and the distribution cost. And the higher the density, there is more efficient use of warehouse and transportation space. If the risk of damage is greater, the transportation and warehousing cost is also higher. And special handling requirements, spatial relationships, and distance are the other factors which is affecting the cost and importance of logistics. So I think that we discussed in this macro and micro logistics activities in this video. I hope that this video will be useful for you. Please go through the PDF which is provided to you for further clarifications. Thank you very much. Once again, we will meet you in the next video. So until that, if you have any clarifications, you can also once again slowly go through the concepts which I discussed in this video, and also enrich your knowledge with the further materials which I provided to you through the web links or the blog links, along with some of the books. So you can download it and you can learn from the Google Books or from your library, because this is now a future opportunity for the people to start the logistics business, because it is a standalone business nowadays. Earlier it was one of the functions of marketing distribution, but now it becomes the core business for many players, and lots of opportunities are available in this particular field. So get benefit out of it. Thank you very much.